I would not wish that on anyone. If you are not like strong-minded and like if you don't have that like self-determination and perseverance, I will say you will not last. Because I almost didn't last, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to drop out at some point.
Shalom, hurry up. Coming. Hi guys, welcome back to Migrantix. So this is pretty much the channel if you're a migrant looking to move overseas. If you're already moved overseas, this is your home away from home. Today we have a special guest, one of my oldest friends here in Australia, actually.
Yeah.
So welcome. Let's have a big round of applause. Welcome to Ropa.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, we first met like back in 2016.
Yeah. Like I remember that day very clearly.
Same.
For me.
Was it orientation? I think it was.
Yeah, it was orientation.
Yeah.
So like, I guess for people to kind of understand. So, you know, like when you first come to Australia, you have like your buddies, you're like trying to get around, you're super excited.
Yeah.
So I signed up for pretty much everything.
She did. I didn't.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going out.
Yeah.
I'm going to see everything, make sure that I'm acquainted
with the place.
with the place. Then orientation week came in. They did that circle thing where we had to like say our name, what we're studying, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It was a
and
while
I'm
back.
like...
Yeah, it was a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but good times.
It was tough times. You know, you were so naive then, so fresh to the country.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I don't know what I hope for like from this country.
Really? What made you choose like Australia anyway?
Actually, I didn't choose Australia.
You didn't?
I didn't. So when I was in high school, we had like these people who would come to our school and talk about like you can study abroad, and like they would sell like whatever country that they're representing at that time, and tell you like the benefits of studying in this country and blah blah blah. And out of all of them, like we had people from like the US, we had people from Canada, we had people from Australia, New Zealand, which other country? South Africa as well. And honestly, the two countries that would stand out to me were Canada and South Africa.
Really?
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
One, because I felt like they were within my parents' budget.
Yeah.
And also, it just felt like the pathway like to getting a job and like getting settled in the country like was easier in those countries.
You really looked at that?
Yes, compared to like Australia. Australia was like really pricey. That was like, this is not like within like reach. So I honestly, I probably would have considered it, but I think because of the priciness of like the fees and just like the lifestyle, like I would look at accommodation and it would just be so ridiculous, and I would be like, no way I would make it there, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to come here until but then like, so now I would go back to my parents and present them with like
a list,
you know, schools that would be good for me and stuff. And mostly the pressure would be on my dad because he was the one who was like paying for my school fees. So I really had to sell it like really well, and like the benefits, and like I'm like, look, you can afford this, like it's not that bad, and then I'll get a job, blah blah blah. And just, you know, I really wanted to like not study in Zimbabwe. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not.
I don't know.
But I just felt like my opportunities of getting a job would be much better if I was not
in the country.
So yeah, my dad eventually, long story short, out of the blue was like, yeah, I want you to go to Australia. Really? And then I looked at it and I'm like, can you afford that? Like truly?
Yeah.
It's like, no. I've looked at it, like they have like the best education or some of the best education. So it was like, yeah, let's do Australia. And then...
You're so visionary.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, even my mom was like, are you sure? Like, it's quite expensive because the numbers like that the people were talking, they're talking 60,000 or maybe like 40,000. It's just, it's a lot of money.
My dad was like kind of the same in a way. He told me about Australia 2 years before I even graduated.
He wanted, so he really wanted this.
So
for
he
you.
brought a list of like, you know, the skilled list occupation stuff to
Yeah.
like, these are the most in demand jobs in Australia. I was like a naive teenager. I didn't really care, to be honest. I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you brought to me. What do these papers even
what
mean?
does it even mean?
Why would I be looking at occupation lists? It's
What
not
is
for
that?
me.
Yeah.
It's like Australia. What's in Australia? I was
I
like,
feel like we were really sheltered growing
Yeah.
up. Like you really didn't think that would be your responsibility to think about occupation. You're like, what's
Yeah.
that? Like your job was to get good grades.
pretty much, yeah, good grades and
Everything
eventually
else
a
will
good.
sort itself out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. So 2 years later, I ended up deciding Australia by myself.
Yeah.
In a way, I was like, oh yeah, my dad did mention Australia, and
Yeah.
I looked it up. I was like, oh, cool, weather's nice.
Yeah.
They have what I wanted to study, which was international business at the time, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I didn't even look at that list, and I was like, I probably
occupation.
should have.
Honestly, now let me tell you this. Before
Yeah.
you move anywhere, look at that occupation list that she's talking about.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you blindly go into something, waste money, God forbid, and then that thing doesn't even benefit you in the future when it comes to like looking for a visa or like just
Money.
money, true,
Like,
but
imagine studying an English degree or arts degree and you're just like coming here and just like, oh,
I'm gonna be an arts teacher.
they're gonna kick
no
me out of the
offense
country.
though, the people
No,
who choose to
like
do that.
no offense, because I would love to have done an arts degree, but
Me
then
too.
I was just like, it's not feasible,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, you want to see what would have benefited. I would have loved to be an interior designer. I feel like
Yeah.
I would have been
I feel like you still can
a
do
superstar.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm doing my CA right now. No, I'm very time poor, so
Yeah, that's
that's
crazy.
not really an option.
Yeah. So when did you decide to become like an accountant?
So when I was in high school, again, you have the first 2 years of high school.
Yeah.
You kind of do every subject, or at least at my school, we did every subject. And I think they do that so that you kind of see what you want to do in the future. So there wasn't really much to say like, oh, it's very broad for me to make a choice. But basically there's the sciences.
Yeah.
You can either be a sciences person, and then you could either be an arts and finance person. Yeah. So that's what we had. And I feel like my dad kind of discouraged me to go for the sciences because he was just like, you need to be really switched on for that thing. Like, you need to be really smart. And I think that was just kind of him telling me that you are actually not that, you know. He wouldn't say like, oh, I think you're dumb. But he was just like, I think you really need to be exceptional at the sciences if you really want to make it, because it takes in like a lot of work and blah, blah, blah. So he was like, you know what? I think you would be good as an accountant because you'd manage it better. Mind you, he's also an accountant.
Okay, so he was like, I know what an accountant is like. So follow me.
And I think he also for like, you know, parents, for his ego, like he wanted like, oh yeah, I'm an accountant and my children are also like accountants. So I think, look, maybe that's where he came from. Who knows? Yeah. But it's funny though, my mom is a nurse. You would think I would have wanted to be that.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because like when I would go to work with her, I just could not stomach some of the things I would see and stuff. So
and probably worked like really long shifts. Like I've never heard of a nurse with like a light shift.
Night shifts, talking 7 to 7. Like, they really work hard, definitely.
Yeah. Because a lot of what I find like now, a lot of Zimbabweans here are either accountants or nurses, to be honest. Majority. Yeah.
Look, you gotta do what's gonna benefit your future. I guess people kind of do that based off of what will give me more opportunities in this country.
In the future,
like
that's
especially in this country, because these people are looking for people to get like who benefit
the country.
So unfortunately that's the game.
I took a completely different path.
What made you choose international business and then switch over to marketing? I want to know like your thought process when you changed.
Really, because I struggled in, to be honest, I actually wanted to do an English degree. When I was like 14, 15, because I wanted to be a writer. Right?
I can see you being a writer. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a period where I just hated writing
Yeah.
completely. Like writer's block, everything. I was like,
Yeah.
nah, this is not for me. And I actually gone to England and I went to Oxford University. I did like a tour. Talked to the admissions team. They were talking to me about opportunities and stuff for me and
Oh my
stuff like
God,
that.
what an experience.
It was a great experience, but
Yeah.
while I was there, I was just like, I don't like England. I do not want to be at this uni.
You were the first person I've ever like
Heard
say
say
that. Yeah.
It is so weird because all my friends, when I was a kid, they'll be like, Michelle's so obsessed with England. She really wants to go to England.
so
Then
they
when I
thought you-
went, they were just like, this is not
You know, like
what I want. Like,
so when you went there, were you visiting? Did you have family there?
yeah, I had family there. Then
Okay.
my parents were like, you're 16, you're about to graduate. Let's do
Yeah.
the college tours. And I was like,
Yeah.
cool, I want to go to Oxford
Oh
University.
my God.
I went there, I was like, yeah, now, it's not
It's
for
not my
me.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. And I would say England is fun, but I was just like, I couldn't see myself staying there.
Yeah.
Weather-wise, I was just like, no.
I honestly think you would be a London girl, truly.
I think I would enjoy it for a short time, but like
Yeah.
when you see the weather, you're just like,
It's
yeah.
it's-
That's why I'm
it's
saying I love Australia, because Australia weather, I'm like, you might be like, why would you consider weather in your decision?
Are you talking about all weather? Because look at today.
Today
What
was
is
raining.
this?
But then it's like, it's not like England is like this 24/7.
Oh my
like
God,
it's
yeah,
almost
I
like it's
wouldn't
always
stomach
like
it,
raining
yeah.
and stuff and just
Yeah.
moody and whatnot. Because here was like, you have your summer days. you
Yeah,
have
and they're
time in the
really
sun.
summery, okay? 40
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah, that's what I really wanted. So for
Yeah.
me, my decision was always like, where am I going to be like comfortable weather-wise? But for the international business thing, I loved traveling and I loved like learning different cultures. And I did enjoy like entrepreneurial business things.
Yeah, you are an entrepreneur.
So for me, it's
Yeah.
like, it was, and kind of like in high school, it's like a no-brainer for me. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, cool, international business. I get to learn about different, what I thought was, I get to
Yeah.
learn about different countries, how they operate in business, the cultures.
So what would
yeah.
have been the end goal with international business? Because you were going to study that and then like which field were you going to be
I
working?
didn't think about that, to be
You
honest.
didn't? You
I was just
would-
like, oh, I want to study this, and I'll probably just get a job in corporate, doing like
something.
business admin or something towards with the degree itself.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that the degree was so broad in itself that I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't specialize in anything, so people aren't really interested in
Yeah.
the degree itself, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much me. Then marketing was because, I started a startup.
So when did you switch over to like majoring in marketing? Was that the second year? Is that when you made that decision?
No. So when we did marketing, that was a prerequisite class for me.
I remember.
That
It
was
was
the
for me
first year
too,
as well. So I thought about switching to, it's so funny because I actually did think about this because I did a finance minor
Yeah.
as well, but I thought about switching to a major in marketing. I was like, I don't know about international business, but maybe I should switch on to marketing.
Yeah.
And I just was like, no, you need to stick through with your initial decision, which is my
Yeah.
first mistake because nobody ever tells you that it's okay to like
Change your mind.
change your mind.
Yeah.
You can just change, Was
I think
like,
it may
yeah.
be like an ethnic thing as well because they want, obviously they're paying their money for fees and you know how hard things are in Zimbabwe. So
Yeah.
you really cannot afford to like change your mind and be like, oh, sorry, I woke up today. I mean,
decided,
some people
yeah.
have that, privilege, but not everyone, I guess.
That's true,
Yeah.
yeah. But then I think that's why we always had like those prerequisite classes because you get a year and a half to be able to change
Switch
your
over.
mind
Yeah.
easily and it won't affect you at all.
Yeah.
But I just stuck through it. And then once I started the startup, I was just like, oh, actually, you know what? Marketing is where it's at for me.
I
Let me
think-
do my master's in
yeah.
marketing. Yeah.
Good for you. You kind of saw a
Yeah.
clear picture of what you wanted to keep doing for your
Right.
future as well.
I wouldn't
No?
say that,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like, I was so confused throughout. I just chose something that
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of enjoy doing this. Let me see what happens.
Yeah.
And then
I guess
through
that's
trial and error.
adulthood
Yeah.
as well. Like you don't really know for sure. You
Yeah.
just kind of, go with
The flow, essentially.
flow in the
Yeah.
gut. Yeah.
Yeah. But how are you finding, like, accounting and stuff?
Honestly, so my first role in accounting,
Yeah.
it was good. Honestly, to be honest, I kind of fell into it. Like I was
Yeah.
looking for a job after uni. So what happened is I was looking for a job And I was looking for people who were going to take me on without my PR or citizenship, you know, because most jobs, they tell you, yeah, we take everyone, but they usually put at the bottom there, like, preferably if you have a PR or citizenship, and they kind of just eliminate you based off of that. So you don't really have that many choices, which kind of sucks, to be honest, because we probably pay more money for school fees and stuff to get where we are. But anyways, so I actually was just applying for jobs. I actually used to work at an aged care doing admin when I was in uni. Yeah, I used to work at, I'm not going to say it, but I used to work at that place. And it was pretty cool actually, because it kind of got me an opportunity to apply for a role in accounting within that entity, whatever you want to call it. And so I did that. And they actually wanted to take me on. They really did. And then at the same time, I also got another opportunity to work for a firm. So like in accounting, it's different when you work for like one place. It's just that place. You're doing books for that place and stuff. Whereas when you work for a firm, you kind of have different clients, which is different. Like you have medical clients, you have restaurants, you just have different, you know, varieties of things. So that would be usually better for your experience as compared to that. So that's how I kind of looked at it when I got the opportunities, when I got both. And I was like, look, the other one though, I'll say it was giving me, because it was during the pandemic when I got the 2 offers. Yeah. It was giving me the opportunity to work from home 3 days. And I was like, for my first role, I don't really know much. I'm like kind of learning and like absorbing things. Why am I working from home already? Like you obviously need that supervision as well. Yeah. So that kind of almost got me, because I was like, ooh, I'll be working from home.
I'm taking that.
But I would have taken, I wanted to, but I looked at it and I was like, for my future, I think I'll probably have more opportunities if I work for a firm. Yeah. So that's how I got into accounting. So my first year was pretty, if I'm being honest, pretty rough, because I think I just didn't really like the practice management in the first place. Like we're just not getting along that well. And I wasn't really learning much as I would have loved to. I did a switcheroo.
Well, that's very exciting. Yeah. And would you say like, because you were working while studying, how's that actually?
I would not wish that on anyone. If you are not like strong-minded, and like if you don't have that like self-determination and perseverance, I will say you will not last, because I almost didn't last. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to drop out at some point because things really did get tough. Like it was hard to get a job, even any, like not even accounting, like any job just to sustain your livelihood was hard to get.
A job during uni.
No? Is it because you wanted to, or you, exactly?
I couldn't,
It's so hard. They make it really hard for people who are not from here. I guess if you don't have like, I don't know, inside friends or like connections of some sort, it's bust for you. Yeah. Like it's really sad though.
It's very interesting because I'm always like, I understand it from both ends, right? It's like, if you're coming to Australia or the country you're going to,
whichever
they want you to have enough funds for you to like study and
which I did. There. I actually think we all are required. They look at your bank statements. They look at everything, right?
Yeah, to maintain it, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously it's kind of like you're just here to study. Go back. Was like obviously if I was like no, I'm here to make a life. I would like to stay, please. And that's totally fine, Like if you can contribute to the country and what they need and stuff, it's totally fine. Being a productive person in the country. Yeah. But my problem is like they make it so hard for people to then earn like just
a living.
Like cost of living is very so high So now it's kind
But
of like,
let's specify when we say they, who do we mean? Because we almost feel like it almost sounds like we're saying there's a group of people who don't want you to succeed.
Ooh.
So who is they?
I'm just gonna say umbrella, the government. Umbrella.
I don't know if it's them. They actually want people to work. I think they actually prefer if you actually a hardworking person. They want a hardworking citizen. I know that.
Yeah.
I think it's just that people here, like people who grew up here, who have made these friendship circles, right?
Yeah.
Within that community. And then maybe they went to like a private school together. So they're going to be like letting on their friends before a random person from Zimbabwe. Like, truthfully speaking, it's just, I think it's very cliquey. That's what I found about this place.
It is.
And fair enough. But it's like, I'm just here to make a living and get by. Like, I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Can you like kind of make room for me as well, please? So I can.
But would you say it's like the same everywhere? Like, even in Zim, like, let's be real, it's like connections will get you way far than the regular. So it's kind of, I always feel like it's kind of like a human trait in a way.
Same thing. You're absolutely right. I agree with that. Yeah. But do you think Zimbabweans, because I want to be honest about this, like, do you think Zimbabweans are not as friendly then? Like, to outside, like people who are from different countries, like coming into Zimbabwe?
I wouldn't know, to be honest.
I actually think they're quite friendly people. We're quite friendly people. I don't care where you're from. I'm ready to be your mate. Like, I actually prefer to have like a multicultural group of friends. Then I get to know more about like, you know, other cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like people here, some, let me not make an umbrella term like you said, but some people like would just rather will stay in our, you know, glass house, would like to keep it that way, please. No people of color, no people of different ethnicities. We don't want anything different. It kind of makes them uncomfortable to some extent, and they're just like, sorry, there's no job for you here.
And I always feel like for us, like, obviously you went through colonization and stuff like that. So, and plus a lot of Zimbabweans do like to, if they can, if they can afford to, they love to travel, they love to like interact with different people. I'm speaking from privilege because I know not every Zimbabwean story is the same as my story. But what I find is like the more you are looking outside, you're looking at different viewpoints, the more you accept it. It was like a lot of people here, some of them have never traveled ever, and they don't need to be honest. For us, like, we have a mission while we're traveling. It's like, we need to buy something that we can't find at home, or we want to like just look at the area and be like, actually I can live here, you know?
No, I think definitely traveling does open up people's minds. I think so. For me, I actually have an opinion that more central places like Sydney, New York, Toronto, and like, you know, London, they have like, they're more open to diversity that way. Whereas if I were to go to like rural New South Wales or a remote area, I don't know how they would treat, you know, an African girl just roaming around. I'm not sure. I'm not saying anything, but I'm not sure how they would treat me. I feel like centralized places are more like open to, you know, because they have been exposed to different cultures, different friend groups and stuff. So I guess in that line of thought,
it's kind of funny because like when I came here, people were just like, oh, do you find it hard to understand the Australian accent? Or just like, I have not heard an Australian accent forever. Like when I first came, I was like, I haven't heard an Australian accent as of yet. Like all the people I hanged around were just all like international, multicultural, or it was such a watered down accent.
Right.
But when I went to like Perth or Brisbane, I was like, are we in the same country?
It was so different from Sydney. Do you reckon? Oh yeah. No, I think Sydney has a lot of like all cultures. It's very multicultural, and that's why I love it, to be honest. Because I mean, yes, I do feel different in some spaces, but I don't feel as different because there's different people everywhere. You know, I just feel like it's got good mix in there.
Yeah, and I think it's gotten way like
Bag of
more
candy.
multicultural. Like,
Yeah, even
because when we
more.
first came, like if I didn't see you, I'd only see like such a handful of Black people. Now I'm just like, oh, everywhere I look, I can find somebody who's
See,
Black.
you're trying to avoid them now.
Not even. I'm just like, oh, Black friends, you know. But I'm just like, I'm just seeing more and more like openness,
Yeah,
which is fantastic,
which is good. Honestly, it's fun. I even see like even at uni, when I went for my graduation, I seen like a lot of people who look like me, and that was not the case when we first got here.
No.
Like I would be in a class and I would just know
the
like
only person.
by myself, and now I love that when I went there, like I actually seen a group of them and they actually approached me. I'm like, of course, like let's be friends. Every time I see a Black person, by the way, I'm ready to be friends with them. Like
same,
it's just like, oh yeah, what's your number?
But I feel like that's also like different universities. Like some people be like, oh, why didn't you go to Western Sydney Uni? Like you'd have seen
that would
more.
have been a different experience. Yeah,
that'd be way more like
I think
people of
so
color,
too,
you know.
yeah.
Because when I went to University of Sydney, I was just like, I'm the only Black person here.
Really?
Yeah,
There
weren't so many.
Yeah.
Like I would see like a few, but it was like 2 out of
No
like
way. Honestly, I would think because
Yeah.
it's University of Sydney, like it's
nah. It's still very like elite.
yeah, it is a
elitism type of
prestigious
thing.
university.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
say,
Yeah, it was like Macquarie, you know, just like, oh, I miss Macquarie Uni. I miss seeing people. So what's kind of like now for you? Like what's been happening?
What has been happening? So I have been working. I was just telling you, like sometimes I don't really like the everydayness of work and stuff, but I guess maybe to add on to that, I also have studying that I have to do. And on some days, like when you work in accounting, you do overtime. I have my friend in there who is grumpy.
Yeah, she is busy working right
And
now.
I know, and sometimes you have an assignment that's due. So I'm also doing my chartered accountant. I want to be eventually become a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to do this whole process of studying again, and like doing your postgrad. And it is actually quite like tedious, I'm not gonna lie. The everydayness, it's like, can I get a break sometimes?
Yeah.
But I guess like you kind of have to, again, like going back to having a strong mind and realizing how this is gonna benefit you for your future. If you really do want to grow, I guess, in your career, obviously you kind of have to put in the work and you kind
Weren't you in Kenya? Like, what do you mean break? Weren't you
I
just
know,
in Kenya?
I was living it up in Kenya.
I was so jealous. Like, I was looking at your story, like, why can't it be summer right now?
I want to go back. Yeah, take me back to Kenya. Like, look, I loved it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, Kenya is so beautiful. And I think they have the best of both worlds there. They have, like, game parks and safaris like
beach.
us.
There's the beach, right?
And then they have the coast, which is stunning. Like, honestly, dare I say, probably better than some of the beaches here. Dare I say
Really?
that? Yeah.
That's a very...
I know, it's a very bold statement. Like, the sand was so white. The water is just really blue.
You think you Jervis Bay?
No.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Oh,
You need to go to Jervis Bay first, here in Sydney, and then go to Perth and see the beaches.
I've been to Perth. It's all right. I think it's just something about seeing people who look like you.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Like, and I don't even speak Swahili. Yeah. But my God, like I would just be like, Sasa support. They would just assume I'm like, Kenyan. And I would get away with it because my friend, Winnie, would then just like come in and then like finish like the conversation. So I don't have to do much speaking and I'm just like intently listening. And I'm like, so they wouldn't really know that I'm not from there. Because usually when they know that you're not from there, they kind of like rip you off a little bit when you're buying stuff.
That's everywhere in Africa, let's be real.
Yeah, so you kind of have to play the game. But I really loved Kenya. It was beautiful. Like, it was just, I don't know, like, it was just an experience. And then it just made me really open my mind. And I'm like, I actually want to make it a point to visit every African country. So I have Namibia on my list to go to next. I'm just looking for a friend who's from Namibia.
Yeah.
And definitely, I would absolutely love to go there. That's like my next place.
I 100%. I want to go to Kenya, but I really want to go to Zanzibar.
Oh yeah, Zanzibar. Yeah, it's really. You know, it's like I think I read in a magazine somewhere like the go-to destination in 2024 is Tanzania. Yeah. So
yeah, that is. Yeah, because I've seen like you know, Tropicals, the brand.
Yeah. Oh.
The way they've been sending the influencers to Zanzibar, I'm just like, just take me to. Yeah. Take me to. I want to go on a travel and
just
kind of
speak
like,
it and it'll happen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So studying, and I guess, you know, I feel like as well, I honestly, it's something that I haven't mentioned, like something that I feel like keeps me afloat is my faith.
Yeah.
Like, I guess growing up Christian, it wasn't really a choice, I guess, in my household, because it was just like on Sundays we go to church.
Yeah.
And then when I came to uni and just being so isolated and like, you know, being in places where it's like, yes, you have friends, but there were days where I would be so depressed and I'd be like, what is life? You know, like when things weren't working out, you're just like, honestly, I would want to just crawl under like a rock and just stay there. But one thing I will say, like, my faith has kept me afloat, and also going to church, being in that space of like having that community of people encouraging you and like being like, you can do this. You didn't come all the way here for nothing. You have to finish the race. And it's like, it helps, honestly. It definitely did wonders for me.
I was having a conversation with Shalom about that, because I was like, how did you like end up making like the faith you're on, you know? Because I was just like,
because when we came here, you
was like, oh, like, by yourself. Now I have to like find ways for me to like, you're going to church, like wake up and go to church, you know?
Yeah, I guess people have different coping like ways as well. Like people have different religions and all of that, and it just comes down like you have to find something that's not destructive as well to your spirit or like your, you know, yourself. Some people turn to things that are unheard of, like drugs and stuff. Like it's easily, I know some Zimbabweans who came here and like life got so tough that they ended up in the wrong circles and, you know, things like that. And it's like, it's unfortunate like that happened. But I think also like our parents, obviously, like again, they were forcing us to go to church, and that was for a purpose, and they were still praying for us when they were still back there. And like that really, obviously, the prayers got answered.
Because when I see like our old friendship circles, it's just like, everybody has changed so much. Some people unfortunately like had to go back and things changed. I was like, you know, God really kept me. That He did.
No, it's absolutely. I heard a story like where I was talking to my friend and she was telling me this girl, she didn't get a visa. And it was distressing her so much. She ended up like taking her own life.
Oh, wow.
Because she didn't want to go back. Like that's just how bad it is. So that's, I guess, like it gives you a picture of where your mental is in those moments of like uncertainty. Like, trust me, waiting for a visa to get approved.
That is not fun. Like, I'm still like dealing with that kind of situation now.
It absolutely is not fun. Like, you kind of just have to pray. I guess you have to pray to God and tell Him what you want, and like just let Him know, God, we didn't do all of this for us.
You know, you didn't bring me here for
no reason, we didn't, you know? Honestly. So,
that's crazy.
What about you? Where are you at with life, work? You just recently finished your master's. That's really good.
I'm honestly, like already looking at something else to study.
Oh, you see, that is such a Zimbabwean thing. One thing about Black women, they're gonna study.
Like, I'm bored. Okay, what
they're do you gonna study?
But then I was just like looking for things just to like upskill myself, because you never know like AI, things are changing. Like I work in digital marketing, so I'm really like forefront to be like, yeah, AI is going to change so many things. So you need to be like
prepared.
Yeah, do the more human stuff that AI can never replace, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at.
Make your mark. Yeah. That's really good. Honestly, I don't think I've ever looked at AI taking over accounting just yet.
It's not going to. Then I went to KPMG, right?
Yeah.
And we had all these talks about AI replacing jobs. I did like a case study for them as well.
Nice.
And bottom line was just like AI it's going to change the accounting like drastically, but it's not going to replace people because there's no way.
So when you say it's going to change it drastically, like in what way? Who's going to be doing this Excel spreadsheet? I don't think AI can do that.
It can actually.
You can?
You can give it inputs and you can actually then do the inputs and stuff. Obviously, you're still gonna. That's why it's like you still have to do like the checking and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it's not gonna replace. But things like bookkeeping, I think that's gonna go. I'm like, I feel sorry for anybody who's just a bookkeeper, but I feel like eventually that's gonna decrease and stuff like that. But always like anything very human centered where you're talking to clients, talking to people, that's
still
never gonna
stay.
Yeah. But it's super interesting. Like I love anything to do with like ChatGPT is my best friend, to be honest.
I need to get into that. Honestly, I haven't really like got a hang of it, to be honest. But I have friends who use it all the time.
All the time.
And like it's pretty good,
like for anything, I'm like
so when you were in uni, did you ever use like ChatGPT?
I 100% did.
You what?
I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, towards like I really think I used it towards like my last semester. But it was good to give me like an idea of it wasn't as advanced as it was now.
Oh, okay. You still like
I still had to like do proper work. But I used to be like, okay, for example, right, I'd have this journal article to read and I'm like can't be bothered.
Yeah, can you
I just copy paste it and just be like summarize the key points. What are the main arguments? I read it and be like, okay, based on the main arguments I'm seeing, I'm gonna use this journal article or not, or move to something else.
Right.
And then it just made my life easier.
Oh my god!
In a way,
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, but obviously you still have to do your work because otherwise it's just plagiarism.
I know, but getting the help, I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
It was so helpful in terms of that. But but all the work I did was my own. So if anybody comes at me, that was my own work.
No, but I understand. We literally had to do a whole course on like plagiarism before you started your CA. Yeah. And I think it was something about like, if you do use like ChatGPT, just say you did use ChatGPT or you got the help but you shouldn't like rely on it entirely and stuff. Because I'm sure they are aware that people are using it. So there's no getting around it. Like,
it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But it's so helpful. Like to summarize, if you don't have a journal article, to be like, find me journal articles on XYZ subject. It just lists stuff and you just
oh my god where was that when we were in uni? Like
in undergrad I'll be like, oh my gosh, what was it?
I would have smashed that high distinction.
Right, it just saves so much time.
Yeah, it does.
But but I guess like moving on to like when you came to Australia, now that you're here, how has like your personal life been, like dating, finding friends, and everything?
Look, you kind of have to. I am when I like someone, I become very extroverted. Yeah. And then when like, I don't really know you like that, I'm like very quiet and I'm just kind of like, just trying to read everyone else before I start like bringing out my true self and stuff. Yeah. But overall, when did I start making friends? So when I was in uni, I think, I'll be honest, you're here.
Yeah.
The people I met, like, the first days when I came to uni, like orientation, I am still friends with most of them, like good friends with them. And that I feel like that's kind of just stayed consistent in that way. Yeah. And then as I've like gotten older, like going different jobs and stuff like that, I have obviously made friends at work, which is absolutely the best as well, because you see these people every day and you chat with these people every day. So it's like why not be friends? And then you just leave that place and you're like, oh, maybe. So I've actually made friends at every job I've been.
Yeah.
And I've kind of like stayed in contact with some of them, and like we hang out quite a lot and stuff. I like to have friends. I don't know, like I just feel like I thrive off of just talking with my friends, even if it's nothing serious about life. It's just laughing. It just makes me feel, you know, rejuvenated, like, because it makes you think, like, when you actually discuss about something with you and you're like, you can relate, it just makes you feel like you're not alone, you know. Like, you're like, you know what, but you know what, my friends are getting through this, I'm gonna get through this. So it kind of helps. So that's that. I've made friends from work. Where else? Like when I do like school and studying as well, you meet people, I guess, with along with that.
You said it was easier for you.
What's that?
We just said it was easier for you to make friends when you came.
No.
No?
It wasn't hard.
Yeah.
I think what was hard was different cultures. Obviously, being born and raised in Zimbabwe and then meeting like maybe a true born and bred Aussie, it's like as much as we want to make this friendship work, sometimes we have to acknowledge the differences in our upbringing.
Which is so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like some things that they probably like don't consider a big deal. For me, it is a big deal. And then it's just kind of like maybe moving past that, boundaries and respecting that. And then sometimes also realizing, look, this friendship will really like not
work.
Get far because I guess maybe we're different. And like it's not bad blood or anything like that. It's just like what you're doing, your path is probably different from mine. I kind of like to have people who I guess encourage me, or like not necessarily that we have to be doing the same things, but I like focused friends. I don't like having dumb people surrounding me.
I agree with you. Like I've seen like the friends, like the ones you've introduced me to, I'm just like, you know what, this is my group of people. you know?
I love go-getters. I love people who are focused. Whatever you're doing, it could be, I don't know, being a lawyer, it could be a doctor. I just love it when people are really focused and like just go-getters in that sense. Like, yes, we can have fun and like play. Love it when we do that. Love it when we travel. But at the end of the day, it's like you need to have that drive, because I guess it just helps encourage me when I want to give up. And then I look at my friends and I'm like, look, I can't be lacking when my friends are doing big things, you know. So it kind of makes you put you in order. I think as well, it's funny because when I talk about it, I remember my mom telling me to pray for my friends.
Yeah.
So that you have a good, solid group of friends, and like that, you know, it's really important.
Yeah. My mom used to say the exact same thing.
Yeah,
my
that
grandma as well.
Be careful.
Like you don't need friends, be careful. You know?
Like if your friend jumps off a bridge, are you
gonna jump there? Like, of course not. You know?
And then dating life.
Because we've had numerous conversations about dating throughout the years. You know?
Child, the ghetto.
It is. Sydney is not a place to date, I would say, honestly. I don't know.
Again, I'll bring it back to cultural differences as well. Because the caliber of men, like as much as we may say see men are trash, let's just give flowers where they're due. I think Zim men have they know how to treat their women, right? At least in my experience, I feel like they really...
Yeah, I've never had an issue with those men.
It's just the problem of cheating for me personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've never had problems with some guy.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's good. I have. And unfortunately, it's been unfortunate. But dating in uni, look, it was an experience. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed like having to, let me not say enjoyed it like that, but like just getting a feel of like this, you know, different varieties and like people, seeing what works for you. But I'll be honest, at some point it was just so trash, and it was just like, oh my days, am I ever gonna find a good man, like
Yeah.
solid, because you obviously want a partner in life, not just like a boyfriend for like the cutie style. It's like
Yeah.
you want someone you can actually do life with, someone who's solid,
Yeah.
someone who you actually can see your parents as well welcoming into their, I guess, their family.
Yeah.
Like, is he courteous? Does he have manners? Most of the men that I was meeting, they did not have manners like
Really?
that. Yeah, no.
Did you have like a list, or like were you
Honestly,
very
no.
much like a character type of person?
I go off vibes. That's the only thing I went off of vibes.
Yeah.
I was going off of vibes, and I think that was maybe my mistake, because like I probably needed to have a list.
Yeah.
I wasn't really looking, to be honest, I wasn't like looking for like something specific in someone, like saying like they needed to be this tall, this, that.
Yeah.
I was just looking for someone I can laugh with, because I love me a good time.
Yeah.
And I like, life is already beating my ass as it is. Like, why can't we laugh?
Laugh,
You
yeah,
know, at the
I
end of
love
the day. So you're looking for someone you can laugh with. But I think for me, I've had many experiences. Obviously, I can't talk about all of them.
Yeah.
But just narrowing it down, I think I'll talk about how cultural differences. It's like this 50-50 culture. Like, what the heck is that?
I don't know what that is. I do not want to.
It's not my thing. Sorry.
Like, I realized, like, I have good relationship with friends overall, like girls, guys, and everything, right? My guy friends are very good people,
Yeah.
you know? Like, if I could set them up with my friends, I probably would.
Yeah. Oh, you
Right?
think that you vouch for them that
Yeah,
bad?
because I can vouch for them,
Yeah.
because I'm like, yeah, those are good guys. And to a point where I'm just like, I've never, like, if I'd gone out with my friends, my
Yeah.
friend group, they never let me pay for anything.
Never.
And they were just
What's
friends,
that?
right? And I was like,
Yeah.
if my friends are like this, and it's not to say like, oh, I took advantage of them or anything, like obviously I'd be like, yeah, I'm shouting today type of thing.
Yeah.
But they're very much like, Mitchell, whoever you end up with, that was the advice that they gave me, like,
Oh, really?
whoever you end up with,
Don't
if
you
they
dare.
pay, if you pay on anything,
Deep.
like, leave, because that
Go.
person's not for you. Like, and I was like, you know what?
I think
yeah.
it's, so now I find that it's such a, touchy subject. I find that people kind of make it seem like, oh, you're going into this relationship with this expectation.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you are considering me to be the mother of your kids,
Yeah.
a homemaker, I'm so sorry, but why am I halving something? Like, why am I
Yeah.
going halves on?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already doing my labor. Like, look, each to their own. I think I'm not opposed to helping when times are tough, but
You like being taken care of, and that's okay, you know?
yeah,
For me, it's also like,
yeah,
I don't like when somebody, like, just the act of, like, even just friends, like somebody paying something for me, I feel very, very awkward.
yeah.
Because I'm
you know.
like, oh, no, don't pay for me. I can pay for myself. That's how I grew up. Like, my mom taught me that you need to
Fend for yourself.
fend for yourself. You don't know what's going to happen. Even if you're, like, in a good relationship, strong, or marriage, whatever, you still need to have, like, money for yourself, pay for yourself,
Absolutely.
take care of yourself. Like my family dynamic was like, I saw my mom, like, do stuff. I saw my dad do stuff. It was
Yeah,
always like, I wouldn't say
helping.
50-50, but it was very much
Partnership.
like partnership. They're very compatible. They're very much like, yeah, I'll take care of this. You take care of that. This is how we've broken down our finances.
But like,
together.
how long have your parents been married for now?
How old am I? I'm 27 years.
27
Yeah.
years. So 27 years deep, like, yes, obviously we're going to be halving, like we're going to be,
Yeah.
we're going to be doing a partnership. But when you're courting me, well, I feel like that's how it is. The
Yeah.
woman is the catch. When you're courting
yeah.
the person, excuse me, why would
Yeah.
I? If you're trying to pursue me in that
Yeah.
sense, I'm like, unless maybe if, let's say, I really wanted that person, which would never be the case, but let's just say I am going after this boy.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, I guess I can see how you could, but still, even in that case, I feel like a man, I don't know, this is just my thoughts. But I
Yeah.
guess, like, look, I'm not saying like women should just date solely for the sake of not wanting money or something. But I just think if you're looking for a wife, you're gonna have to show a little something. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You're gonna have to show her that she's safe, and you can
It's very
hold your
interesting.
own.
Yeah, it's like very touchy subject because I see it from like both ends as well. Because I'm like, if like, because I have a younger brother, I'm just like, my brother grew up. How would I want like his future wife to treat him? Like how would I want that relationship? Obviously, it's not my relationship, but it's like kind of like you see it, it's like I wouldn't want somebody to take him for granted, like he's just like an ATM, because he's not. He's a human being, he has feelings and stuff. But then I also want him to treat the person with respect, with love, with like, because you care for her, right? You want to do things for her, you know? So it's very interesting because I'm like, I don't have an answer. All I know is like, if you lead with like integrity, if you are authentically yourself and if you know how to take care of people, then you'll be fine. And it's like vice versa for us as well.
You'll be fine. Definitely there is some people out there who are willing to take advantage of you. But I guess this is where you come in with your brain and like kind of, just look at the situation, assess things a little bit and see if this person wants you for who you are or like what you have. Because it also happens, look, like to be honest, if we're really like laying the cards there's sometimes men who approach you with their money or whatever it is just for, to sleep with you or things like that. And it's like, is that fair? No, why don't you want me for me? Or some people like the idea of you, but they're really not ready to deal with like the reality of you and like how real things get. Like life be lifing. And you need a solid person. So it's like if this person was just here for the idea of you, like, oh, you're pretty, or this. What happens on that day when I'm not that pretty? Like, you're gonna go. True. So it comes both ways. Like you just kind of have to be smart and like see if the person genuinely like really likes you or.
That's how I always like to like women as well. Like,
I think your money everyone knows. Everyone knows from the first go. Like, if this person is solid. When people end up doing those things where they're doing situationships, it's just because maybe they're trying to force something that's not there. But I 100%, even your friends, your friends when they come to you like, oh, I don't know what to do, asking for advice, they know if that person is like, not good for them. They just obviously want you to kind of reaffirm them and be like,
I don't give advice. I just listen. Because I've come to the point where just like, if I've told you that, hey, this person is not good for you, and you're still with the person, I'm just like, I've said my piece, I'm not gonna repeat it. I'll just listen, because at some point I always feel like sometimes as women we can be a little bit finicky. It's kind of like, you're there for the truth, but you don't really want the truth at some stage. But then you realize it later on. But
I don't know. I kind of indulge my friends a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I do. I do want to hear the whole shebang and stuff. Purely because I know I've been on the other side where I've been like just wanting my friend to give me like solid advice. Look, I am not gonna lie to my friends and tell them what's not there. That's not what I'm doing. For me, on the other hand, like unlike you say you don't give them advice. Unfortunately, I will give you my 2 piece. I will have to let you know. Like, again, going back to like me saying I don't like having stupid friends and dumb friends. That also means when it comes to like men, you need to snap out of it. I will like make you snap out of it, and I'll tell you how stupid you're looking.
I mean, that's good. Like I used to be like that, but then for me, it's like when somebody just keeps on doing something, you're just like.
Well, then that's when you have to sack him as a friend, because really, why are you surrounding yourself with people? Now, again, give people grace. It's obviously not always black and white, but for the most part, I indulge my friends, and I kind of want to hear like, what is this? And then like, obviously, if she's being like silly, I'll be like, okay, you're being silly, and then kind of hear his side of the story. But this is also given that the person she's been with is like a solid guy. I'm not about to just be like, always my friend, my friend, my friend. If she's being silly, I'll obviously pull her to the side, like, babe, we need to get it together.
I'm supporting you in public, but criticizing you in private. That's definitely like
way.
Like being a sister's keeper type of thing.
Yeah. You obviously don't want her. And again, coming to like, you surround yourself with like good counsel, because obviously you probably trust your friends to give you good counsel. Like, that's the thing. I hope they can trust me again to give them like good advice in that sense, nothing to destroy like their future or anything like that.
I mean, that's good, because I end up like really thinking I'm very more of a listener, because I always feel like you have the answer and you just want to like really like
vent. Sometimes someone really just wants to vent, and you should absolutely
unless somebody says like, hey Michelle, like I really want your advice on X, Y, Z.
That's where
I'm not gonna
give unsolicited advice,
because that's the worst. Like, somebody starts giving me the unsolicited advice, I'm like, why are you doing this to me right now?
Sometimes you're not looking for an answer, you're looking for a shoulder. I hear what you mean. Like, it's not always advice.
So why would you say, generally speaking, for like obviously more like people coming to Australia looking to like date and stuff, what would be like your advice to that?
I would say, now this is going to sound very like self-righteous, but yes, it's fun, like it's different, like dating pool and all of that. But I would say maybe focus on what you're here for first. Before you get into like dating and like, unless maybe your sole purpose of coming to Australia is to find a husband, which I would think that's not usually the case.
Hopefully not.
But like, you need to focus on where you have to remind yourself, the people back home, like things is tough, like things are tough back home. Like, you have to remind yourself like the sacrifices that your parents, your families like have made. I was watching this girl on Shark Tank. She was selling coffee and she was from Kenya, and she got a little bit teary talking about her story and how like the village back home had to like raise funds for her because she got a scholarship to study at Harvard, which is a big opportunity, but she didn't have money for a flight, and they paid for her flight, and like the whole village fundraised for her. And it's like, these people don't have money to be giving you to go for a flight, but they sacrificed knowing that you being there is going to open up doors for people as well. Like, you don't know who you're going to help. You're going to help younger like generations. It's always important to remember, like, as much as yes, maybe you want a life partner, this, if that's not your sole purpose of being here, don't do that. Focus, face front, find a job, find a good group of friends. I think my advice would be like, study first before you think about if it happens along the way, it happens, but that shouldn't be your focus, because then you're taking, because again, now you're dealing with heartbreak when you have exams.
I was literally laughing my friend, just like, what the worst feeling would be is experiencing your first heartbreak and you have work the next day. Like, what happens? Like, how do you be like, I agree with you. It's never
like, no, because it's all fun and games, obviously, when you're having fun, like going out on dates. Obviously, these people are serenading you with whatever they have, but it's like, you have to work hard still. Like, I mean, unless you want to be a kept woman, a kept person.
I don't think I could ever. To be honest, I'm just like, nah.
I could be kept, please. Yes, I would quit my job.
I mean, I'm joking. I like the idea.
The idea is very,
But when I'm looking at it, I'm just like, nah, I have like so many goals, so many dreams. So many things I envisioned for myself. And I want somebody who's going to propel me to do all of that.
You're a very ambitious person.
But I agree with you. Like, I feel like people should start focusing more on themselves.
And even not necessarily like just yourself, but like, what is happening in 2 years? when you're maybe, let's say your student visa, whatever, how 3 years, what are you planning to do? Think about things like that, because when you don't plan, I'm telling you from first-hand experience, I've been in a position where I didn't plan, and honestly, it could have panned out differently for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you need to be serious because this is your life.
Yeah.
You don't want to not live with yourself thinking you made a silly decision or like a stupid decision where you couldn't like get ahead and stuff like that because what? You were dating? Like it's not a good enough reason, I think.
That's why I say I thank my mom and my grandparents.
Yeah.
My grandma would be like, guys, leave them. Focus on what you're there for.
And then 2 years later, they're like, where are the grandkids? When
and I was like, I thought you said you wanted to focus on school. Like, I'm focusing on school. Why are you so much? Like,
I know. They trick us into thinking men are useless, and then they're like,
after like a certain age range, you're just like, where's the groom? But then I also appreciate like my parents never pressure me into anything.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I don't even want to start. Like, you're so absolutely lucky. My mom, unfortunately, I'm an only child, so I'm sure, So she's looking for those grandkids with red eyes. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's to the point where it feels really pressuring now. I'm not going to put it under the bus now, but it is pressuring. Like,
for me, I'm very much like, I'm like, listen, I'll do things at my own pace. Just sit there.
I wish my parents would take that.
No, because I feel like my mom knows I'm super stubborn as well. So it's like,
either way, you're going to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do, you know? So if she forces me a certain part, I'm like, I'm very much going to go the opposite.
Do what I want to do. Yeah, I mean, it's your life at the end of the day. You don't want to be like in a position where I don't know, like you don't like your life, you know what I mean? Because you live with yourself every day.
That is true.
Make a decision for someone else.
Yeah, but I always say like, look at like, because I take like when people give me advice, I do like consider that and like weigh it.
Or that with different people.
Yeah, especially it's like my family. I'm just like, they've seen me grow up. They know me better than anybody else. Yeah. So I'm going to take that advice like very strongly and be like, okay.
They have a big influence on you. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying that's why it feels pressuring, because like obviously this is the woman who gave birth to me. Yeah. Putting that pressure on you. Of course, I really definitely consider like her counsel. Like it's really important to me what she thinks of me, unfortunately. But also, unfortunately for her, I do feel like I am a strong-minded person. Like, I don't think I would do it just for the sake of, like, my mom said so. Like,
especially, like, things like children and marriage are just, like,
that is a serious business.
Like, for me, I'm just, like, I'm getting married once in my life. Like, I don't care about anybody. Like, things like divorce.
Oh, God, I'm saying I need to travel. Please, let me go to Namibia first.
Yeah, like, you want to travel, experience life. Kids are, like, your lifelong commitment, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you can still travel when you have kids.
But then imagine, like, have you ever been on a plane with screaming kids?
Hey.
I can't. I see them, I'm just like, I feel sorry for the parents. So at the same time, I'm just like, why am I on this plane with these kids?
Really? I actually do. I have empathy for them.
Yeah.
I'm like, it must be really hard because now everyone is looking at them like, just trying to put the kid to sleep. I actually have empathy for them to some extent. Like, look, obviously I would love to have where they weren't there on the fly, but unfortunately, like, it's just I don't mind it. Like, it's just the kids.
Like, I'm okay with it.
I hate those ones where they're really like naughty and they're like toddlers. Ooh. Now, them ones,
I blame the parents. I blame the parents. Like, if I see your kid and your kid is acting out, I don't even see the kid as the problem. Really? I look at the parents, I'm like, your parenting style is the problem. You don't think
that this kid could have a different personality from what their parents have, and hence why maybe they're acting out?
To an extent, I can see that, but at the same time, there's certain stuff what kids do, just like, no, your parents should do better. Not teaching you properly as a parent.
I don't know. I feel like you'll be surprised when you meet my mom.
Yeah.
because you'll find that we're very different. Like she is very conservative. She's by the book. She's a very,
Yeah.
well-behaved woman. And then you meet me. I'm like a bit on the louder side.
Yeah.
And like, just... So it happens that sometimes you give birth to someone who's totally...
Yeah, but then
a mania.
But you're more like, let's say, you're respectful,
I am, yeah.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's certain, like, your personality, my personality with my mom, like, I'm more introverted and quiet. She loves people. She was like,
bless.
If she's alone, but I don't even know if she can survive by herself.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I mean, Zimbabweans thrive on community. That's the one thing for sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I can stay at home and be like, I don't need to speak to anybody.
But do you think you've always been like that, or that's something that you got when you came to Australia? Because I feel like it's something that we kind of learned here. I feel like Western society is very individualistic.
Yeah.
As compared to, like, what do you think? Do you think you were always...
I was always introverted, even like in Sim, so that didn't change. But I think I became more intro
even more when
I came here. Like I feel like I lost a little bit more of my confidence when I came here.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's like,
that's not good.
Obviously you're not getting a job.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not the majority anymore, so you're not a standard of like beauty or anything. Yeah. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm ugly, all right, or something like that. But it's not true. It's like whenever I go back to Zim, I'm way more like livelier. I'm always like,
because you're around people who look like you. I can see that. Yeah. I don't know. For me, I feel like, I don't know. I never really thought like I was in like this. Yes, there's some people who try to make you feel like you're different or less than. But I'm sorry, I don't mind then. Like, you're not feeding me like at home. So really, I don't give two minds about you. Yeah. So I never really felt like I wasn't like pretty, I guess, in that sense. I think I don't know, maybe I'm just delusional like that. I just always thought, you know what, I'm all right. Like,
you're beautiful.
Not that bad.
You're all right.
I'm all right, I don't need like that. But same thing in Zimbabwe. I feel like I thrive off of like going to see my mom's sisters, going to being around my grandmother, and like it keeps me going. Yeah. Whereas here I'm just like, friends. And I do have family, but they live so far away.
Your family, yeah.
Yeah, they live so far. So it's just like, I guess I have to make do with my friends, but I love it. I love my friends. I think I have a good community of good friends.
Would you say more, how would you describe your friend group? Would you say it's like more multicultural, or as you're older you're getting, the more you're sticking to like your own people, or
I think I have I don't know how to section this. Different friends for different things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
I never usually try. Now I definitely every now and then I'll mix them up, but I just like to keep them with it because this one is good for this kind, this one is good for this one is good for this. So I think my friendship group is pretty multicultural, but majority obviously is like, again, I love me some Zimbabweans, and especially like African girls. I love us, so I do have to say majority of them. Obviously, I have Zimbabweans and Nigeria, or like Kenya. I have a lot of Kenyan friends as well. But on the other side of that, I do have every now and then, like, the chosen white people that are in the friendship group who are absolutely, they pass the vibe check. Like, if they're good vibes, obviously should not be racist at all. Unfortunately for you, you would not make the cut. Yeah, but just cool people. I love like just having fun and just getting a different taste of different cultures as well. Because I know for sure, I'm saying like I want to travel a lot. these friends will help me when I'm trying to go to their country.
Free accommodation. I saw TikTok about that. I was just like, that is so true. Like, I have friends in all different continents, right? So whenever I feel like
And not even just for free
Yeah.
accommodation, they will recommend the best of the best because obviously they're locals there.
Yeah.
So it gives you that picture. Whereas when you're going, like, let's say I try to go to, what is it, Machu Picchu, and I don't know no one there. Where am I? Like, I don't really know where I'm going to go. Which restaurants?
Yeah.
Which, like, sites do I go to see? Like, it's very
Yeah.
different from that. You want to have someone to be like, I can vouch for this place. It's really good.
Yeah.
Or like accommodation where you're looking for I guess let's say hotels.
Yeah.
They can really give you like, oh, this hotel really good.
Yeah.
Resort, like that's what you want. Personal tour guide.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
As a friend. Yeah.
I think that's the best thing about uni is like you meet so
You
many
mean, yeah,
international
a
people.
good mix of friends. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a little game. It's a little bit of an icebreaker game.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna pick random cards.
Oh my day.
I won't tell you what card is what for what. You just pick
you
one.
do you know?
It's been a long time since I've seen this.
But
so-
as I say, you know. Okay, let me go based off of. I'm into blue these days. No, is that blue? You know what? Let me just pick that.
Okay.
Okay.
What does it say?
What activity do you enjoy so much that it makes you lose track of time?
I feel like I kind of know yours. I'm gonna guess.
What is it? Maybe help me.
Isn't that reading?
Yes. I was trying to pick because I was thinking to myself, I also do love me a good meal. Like I love eating, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I can say I can eat to the point where I'm like, I can't, I'm losing track of time. That's why I was thinking that. But yes, I'm going to go with reading. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I've
Give me
seen
a fiction book.
Yeah, like
yeah.
your own book talk, you're very much like,
Yes.
I'm gonna visit like different theaters.
That's
that-
also on my
yeah.
list. I want to visit like some of the biggest libraries and like, obviously
Yeah.
maybe they don't really have that many books, but I just want to go and like.
There's this beautiful library in Sydney. So it's like just greenery.
I think I already know.
Yeah,
I've
you
probably
already know?
been there already. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you're picking one.
I'll go with yellow. I don't know what yellow is. Hopefully it's not anything ridiculous. Okay. What is my favorite quote? What's your favorite quote?
Let's see. What is my favorite? I love it. This one. Well-behaved women seldom make history. So meaning to say, like, if you're well-behaved, you never
Yeah.
really do much. So people who are like, who don't stay within the box, who kind of like to...
A good quote.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. That is one thing about me. I think I feel like sometimes being Zimbabwean,
Yeah.
you always feel like you're like the, I don't know, the last person in the room to be asked for an opinion and stuff. So you kind of have to make yourself stand out. Otherwise, they're just gonna move past you like you don't even
Yeah.
exist. So that's my favorite quote.
Oh,
What's
okay.
yours?
Mine. Oh, that's a very good question. I think my quotes are always like just going back to the Bible.
Oh, really? That's good too. I should say something like that.
You know, like
Yeah.
literally. I can't really pinpoint one, but it's been
Yeah.
like ones where it's about hard work and stuff like that.
Mm.
So there's been a lot in Proverbs about like
Working
hard
it.
work, you go find life, you find success, and all of that. If I remember the verse, I will say the verse, but I literally posted it the other day as well. Because I've been like trying to encourage myself to be like working hard,
It's very
and
important.
striving and succeed, and like just going day by day type of thing.
Yeah.
I guess another one would be like, don't worry about like tomorrow, for tomorrow is an account type of thing. Yeah, yeah.
The Bible has some good quotes, not gonna lie.
It
It's got
does.
some gems.
Like whenever I'm just like, somebody would be like, I was like, are we reading the same Bible?
Oh yeah.
I'm really much reading.
No, I think it's about like the version that you're reading as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
the message definitely is good as well. I like
to
I use
Passion.
Passion Translate. That's good too.
Yeah.
What do I use? I use I think I use the NIV, which is it's like one of the
most common
but it's
ones,
good.
When I
Yeah.
really want to study the Bible, I go for AMP.
Amplified. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, no, that's good study Bible as well. Do you actually have a study Bible?
Literally right there.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
literally
cool.
right
And it's
there.
actually quite big as well.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
that's how you know it's a study Bible.
When you can't carry
That
it.
yeah, you can't carry it to church.
Okay, so last one.
All right, I'm gonna go with. Let's go with red. Oh my god. Oh my days. What was the hardest decision you have ever had to make?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh my days.
In this season of life.
In this season of life.
This is in this season of life.
Right. Oh, I think. Oh, let me see. I think I'm usually motivated with like. I don't know how to explain this. Like, I am someone who thrives off when things are working well, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean when things are not working well every time that you have to like dip and like, you know, like I'm done with this. Because I'm usually that kind of person who's like, you know what, I don't like things that stress my life. So I think the hardest decision I've ever had to make has been to stick through things like my work life, school life, personal life, and just like you don't always have to give up. Like you actually have to be an adult at some point and stick. So I think I would say sticking through things like, you know, giving myself that, you know what, you need to like push past like, you know, just the negative or like the momentarily like bad stuff. Because sometimes you want to give up because something of a minor inconvenience and you're like, I'm giving up the day. So yeah, that would be my thing. You have to pick a last one too.
Okay. Let's see. I'll go red as well.
Okay. Let's see.
And what is red? Dang, that's a very deep one.
I know. The red, I think, is definitely deep questions.
It actually says deep on the card.
Yeah, of course.
What's the most surprising self-realization you've had? Damn. Okay. For me, it would be... I think I posted it the other day and it did surprisingly well, like social media platform is... I'm not on the same starting line as everybody else, especially if I've moved to a new country. I'm here by myself and stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So for me, it just means like I don't need to pressure myself to be following like a certain timeline, a certain like I should have had a house like by now. But I'm like, literally, I came here when I was like 18, 19. I got a proper job probably around COVID, right after COVID, you know? Which is less than 3 years, 3-4 years.
How would I have saved up for a house? I know.
How would I have saved up for a house? I paid for my master's, undergrad.
I'm paying rent.
You know, I'm paying rent. There's no way I would have like saved for like a deposit as of yet. Or if I had, it went to my master's because unlike PR or citizens, we pay like 10 times the price. So for me, it's always like whatever, like don't compare yourself to people who've been born and raised in the same place. Yeah. Or in general,
even the ones who you think you have the same starting line, you still like you don't really know what's going on in that person's life. I remember now that you brought it up, I remember when we were in uni. And I remember there was a point where like we had a friendship group, they was just buying cars and it's like, where y'all getting this money from? Yeah. You don't know what they had to do
together.
You know, like I'm not saying kudos to them, but it's like you don't really know what they did or like what kind of jobs they
support they got,
you know, to get that. You just kind of have to face front and like focus on yourself.
Yeah, I still don't have a car now.
Yeah, it's not like you don't need it. Like, look at you. So
because I started doing the calculations. I was just like,
Yeah.
This cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
It's cheaper for
But
public
it's just
transport.
sometimes something good as well to get around with, you know, if you can get it
Yeah.
at some point. Like, it'll be nice to being able to like go somewhere without having to think too much into it and
That's true,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, I forgot to ask you this. What was the hardest decision you've ever had to make in this season of life?
I think it was similar to yours actually, because I was thinking
Yeah.
about it. I was like, right now for me, it's like a year of like grinding, a year of like really sticking through with
Yeah.
one thing. So I've been struggling in that sense. It's like, okay, I can't be doing this, going to there, changing stuff, right? I just
Yeah.
need to stick to one thing.
One thing, yeah.
And for me, it's like I need to stick to one thing for a few years until I get
To
what
see
I
the
want.
results, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's funny because I think our generation, Gen Z, we are very much like, if this thing is not working, I'm like,
Leave.
I'm going. And while that can be good in some instances where like you don't have to like, I guess there's some instances where it's beneficial, but in like for the long run, you need to have that trait where you like you're reliable. You can even rely on yourself, because I think
Yeah.
that's also really big. When you can't rely on yourself and like it's very like not good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to trust yourself.
Yeah, but it's like if you're gonna jump every job like one after every year, nobody's gonna hire you
Anymore.
eventually.
Exactly.
And you're not really learning anything. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
you know?
You kind of have to stick through it. I used to, it's funny because I look at our parents as well. Our parents also have this system of like,
Staying too long.
yeah, and I'm like,
Yes.
obviously you don't want to take it too far, and be
Yeah.
like, where it's not benefiting you in some way. So
Yeah, like I feel like just stay enough for you to really like get situated, know exactly what you are. Know exactly. I think the key is knowing exactly what you're after, because then that
Yeah.
will determine how long you stay in a place. I have one last question for
Yeah.
you. Who do you think we should have? Who should become like on the podcast next?
Ooh,
From your circle.
from my circle.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
As in referral, like people we need referrals on this
my
channel.
days. Okay. I have so many friends I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna recommend Rubimbo.
Faith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She should come here.
Yeah, I mean, I was already gonna ask her, but I guess this was...
Yeah, she should be here.
First
Like,
things,
she should come here. Who else? Oh, it's just one person. I think I'll recommend her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think she should be on the podcast. We
We'll
want to
hit
hear
her
her
up.
story. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story is amazing, actually. So.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've loved chatting with you,
Alright,
but we
thank
always
you.
chat anyway, so.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
Thank you so
good.
much.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.